The Whitfords, the name alone evoked admiration, a picture-perfect couple of over a decade, living in a sprawling penthouse overlooking the city skyline, draped in designer fashion, their social media flooded with images of perfection. Champagne toasts, charity galas, sunlit vacations. From the outside, Eleanor Whitford was the epitome of elegance, laughter always on cue, every word measured to charm and impress. But beneath the glittering veneer, the walls of their luxurious apartment held secrets far darker than anyone could imagine. For months, David Whitford had sensed the tremors beneath their flawless life. At first, it was a nagging suspicion he brushed off, a lipstick-stained napkin tucked into Eleanor's Prada purse, a deleted notification on her phone that disappeared before he could catch it, ATM transactions that didn't align with her supposed yoga retreats and spa sessions. Then came the subtle changes, almost imperceptible, the faint scent of a man's cologne blending with her signature vanilla, her choice of attire increasingly daring, almost as if curated for someone else. Each tiny detail gnawed at him, eroding the foundation of trust he had built over 10 years. David's suspicion hardened into certainty one rainy evening. He had returned early from a business trip, the city drenched in gold and gray reflections from the streetlights on wet asphalt. He found Eleanor in the kitchen, supposedly preparing dinner, but her smile faltered as she saw him. She instinctively reached for her phone, hiding it behind her back, her pulse betraying her practiced calm. His eyes had been trained for months. He knew the slightest hesitation, the tiniest flicker of guilt. That night, David decided he would no longer be a silent observer. He began meticulous surveillance, not the intrusive kind, not out of paranoia, but calculated, precise, almost surgical. Cameras disguised as home security devices, careful monitoring of financial records, subtle recording of her habits, every step catalogued, every lie traced. Days turned into weeks, and the evidence mounted. Eleanor's affair was no fleeting indiscretion. It was a storm raging in secret. The partner in crime, Daniel Carter, David's closest business associate, had woven himself into Eleanor's life so seamlessly that even friends and colleagues would never suspect a thing. He laughed at her jokes, held doors with exaggerated chivalry, and visited under the guise of discussing investments and board meetings. But every meeting was a carefully staged rendezvous, every text she sent deleted before it could leave a trace. David's heart twisted with each revelation, a blend of rage, betrayal, and heartbreak so intense it made his hands shake when he poured his morning coffee. The night of their 10th anniversary arrived, a milestone meant for celebration, for toasts and laughter. Eleanor, radiant in a sapphire gown, expected admiration, the kind that had always followed her elegant entrances. David, silent and calm, received her with the same poised smile she expected, yet beneath it a storm raged. He had planned his move with the precision of a chess grandmaster. Invitations had been sent, the hall glimmered with chandeliers, and all their friends and colleagues gathered, unaware of the hidden drama about to unfold. Dinner began with laughter, glasses clinking, and speeches praising the Whitfords' seemingly unshakable bond. Eleanor was in her element, radiating confidence, basking in the admiration. David remained composed, a silent observer, his mind counting every second, every gesture, every subtle glance Eleanor shared with Daniel, who had slipped in unnoticed under the guise of a business associate. The moment approached. As dessert was served, David calmly asked Eleanor for a toast. Her eyes sparkled, expecting an accolade, a romantic tribute. She raised her glass, words rehearsed, praising the decade of love, smiles exchanged, vows supposedly strengthened. Then, in a voice colder than ice, David began his toast, his words measured, deliberate. 10 years, he said, holding the champagne flute high, 10 years of laughter, memories, and lies. A ripple ran through the room. Friends exchanged confused glances. Eleanor's hand trembled, her rehearsed smile faltering. "I've been a fool," David continued, "thinking the life we displayed was real. But reality, my friends, is far less perfect than appearances suggest." His phone, discreetly connected to the hall's projector, flickered to life, displaying images and videos Eleanor had never thought anyone would see. Lipstick-stained napkins, intimate text messages to Daniel, secret meetings, even a video of the two in a hotel, planning their escape. Gasps echoed across the hall. The elegant room suddenly transformed into a theater of heartbreak and revelation. Eleanor's face went pale, the sapphire gown doing nothing to mask the fear now etched in her eyes. Daniel, caught in the crowd, froze, realizing the web of secrecy had been shattered. Friends whispered, some recoiling in shock, others exchanging incredulous glances. David's voice remained calm, slicing through the silence. You plan to leave me after tonight, to start a new life, to erase a decade as if it never mattered. But I knew. I always knew. Eleanor tried to speak, her voice a fragile whisper, but no words could undo the evidence projected for all to see. She backed away, clutching her purse, realizing the life she had meticulously constructed was collapsing. David's eyes, usually warm and inviting, now reflected the betrayal he had silently endured for months, the love he had poured into a marriage being spit back at him in the form of deceit. And then, the final blow. David walked calmly across the hall, placed a hand on her shoulder, and whispered, I hope your new life is worth every broken heart you leave behind, including mine. He let go, turned, and walked out, leaving Eleanor and Daniel exposed, humiliated, the room buzzing with whispered shock and sorrow. The doors closed behind him, final, definitive. Outside, the city lights shimmered in the wet streets, indifferent to the heartbreak they illuminated. David felt a strange mixture of relief and grief, relief at reclaiming his dignity, grief at the destruction of a love he had once cherished. He didn't look back. Every step away from the building felt lighter, freer, as if shedding a decade of betrayal from his soul. Meanwhile, inside, Eleanor's carefully curated world had crumbled, her dreams of elopement shattered under the weight of exposed truth. Daniel remained by her side, stunned and powerless, while whispers of betrayal and scandal began to ripple through their social circle, spreading like wildfire. David's heart still ached, but it was no longer heavy with uncertainty. The Whitfords' perfect facade had been stripped bare, exposing the raw, painful truth beneath. And as he disappeared into the night, a quiet vow settled in his mind. Never again would he be blinded by appearances, never again would he allow charm to mask betrayal. The city carried on, oblivious, while one man walked free, and one life of deception collapsed spectacularly. Forever changed, forever marked by the elegance of truth revealed and the unbearable weight of a love betrayed.